Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. What is going on, everybody? Get that audio just right. Get going here on Instagram. All right, long time no see. What's it been? About 30 minutes since we last saw each other. Good morning to everybody. Hopefully everybody's off to a nice start on this Monday. What is it? Monday, March 3rd, 8 a.m. on the dot. Very busy show. Sometimes I might say it's a busy show, and maybe it's not that busy. But I have to, I have to make it busy. Today's busy. Today we got a lot going on. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. A couple of W's for the Lakers. Sweep the Clippers. Very impressive as always. Got a lot of stuff that I want to get into. Got a guest for today's show as well that I'm looking forward to chat with. But before we get started in any of that, got a quote for everybody here. Bitterness is like a cancer that enters the soul. Bitterness is like a cancer that enters the soul. So there you go. If you got some bitterness, you got to get it out. No envy, no hate, none of that stuff. Got to get it out of the soul. We need purified water. Every morning we got to make sure that filter takes care of our water. All right, if you got some quotes out there that you want to share as well, you can feel free to do so. I've been reading some quotes from other people recently here. That's definitely been nice to have. Let me give everyone a quick rundown of the show. Then we'll get ready to get started, all right? Let's take a quick look at the comments here. Let's see a couple of these comments here. Look at this. Everybody's just already jumping into the Lakers stuff. Got some people here saying good morning. A couple good mornings out here as well. Chilly and windy in San Diego. Yeah, it's chilly. SoCal is it's cold right now. We need it, right? Isn't that what everybody's supposed to say? We really need this. All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, let me give everyone a quick idea of what we got going on for the show this morning, and then we'll come back. We'll circle around to some of the comments. Really impressive weekend for the Lakers. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. I think my own version of what I thought the Lakers are or what their potential is, it changed this weekend. And I know that sounds like, all right, they only won 2 games against the Clippers. Why would it change this weekend? Why didn't it change at other times? But I got some of my reasons why. So not only did the Lakers sweep over the weekend, they are now the second best team in the Western Conference according to the standings. Are they actually the second best team? I mean, is it, if you said right now, all right, Lakers and Denver, Lakers and Golden State, Lakers and Clippers, Lakers and Houston, Lakers and Memphis, what would it look like in a 7-game set? I got a couple of sound bites as well. Brian Windhorst was on with Mike Greenberg this morning with Greeny. I want to play that. And then I mentioned this yesterday during the post-game show. There's some sound that I want to play that I found last night, or I found yesterday in the morning. Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce, KG Certified, I want to say, is the podcast that KG does. And they're talking about the Lakers. So, listen, I know I had said this about a week ago or so that I feel like the Lakers are just playing with house money. I think that's starting to change. I don't really know if they're playing with house money anymore. I think expectations are certainly starting to change. Dalton Knecht, he was fantastic yesterday. We'll spend a little time talking about Dalton Knecht. Kevin Durant and the Suns. I don't know if you guys are keeping track of that situation, but Phoenix, there's a very, very good chance they don't even make the play-in tournament. And then KD probably playing somewhere else next year. So I saw that. I thought that was interesting. Brad Turner of the LA Times. We'll do the weekend recap. Then we'll get the hell out of here. BT will join us at about 8:30. Okay. Take a look at some of the comments here before we get started. This morning is the start. I mentioned this earlier in the week. So technically, I think Lent starts on Wednesday, on Ash Wednesday. Well, I'm starting today. So today starts my no coffee until Easter. How am I going to do that? How am I not having coffee until Easter? I don't know how the hell I'm going to have it, or I don't know how the hell I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. This is tea. I got some green tea here. Or, first week's going to be tough. We're just going to have to go tea. I mean, coffee just gets my brain going in a different direction. And I'm going to have to figure out how the hell to do this without coffee. We'll make it. We'll be fine. I was looking at alternatives yesterday. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments before we get started. A lot of people feeling good. Laker fans feeling really, really good right now. Feeling really, really good out there. Well, I guess Luka isn't fat anymore. Yeah, all you got to do is play well, and then all of a sudden everything people say is gone. A rose by any other name would still smell as sweet. Okay, nice quote in there. I don't know if I missed any other quotes out there. If anybody else was making it happen out there, just let me know and I'll try to find it, or at least re-put it in the chat here. Yeah, I can't find any more. Okay, let's get things started here. Green tea. Oh my God, I'm going to puke. Nick, I didn't say it was the best. Okay, I'm just saying I got to find something right now. I got to find something here in the morning. I saw this yesterday as well. Dub T trying to help out. Go decaf. Yeah, what's the purpose? It's like having a non-alcoholic beverage. Well, if I drink alcohol, then I need to drink alcohol. All right, let's get the show started. So Lakers sweep the Clippers over the weekend. A few things stood out to me. I had said this on Friday. I'm like, you split against the Clippers, you're fine. You're going to have a 5-game advantage on the Clippers. You're fine. Instead, they sweep them. They have a 7-game advantage plus the tiebreaker because they took 3 of 4. Basically, any conversation with the Lakers outside of the top 5 is not worth having the conversation anymore. They're going to be top 5, period. I mean, unless there's just a colossal failure that happens between now and the end of the season, Lakers are going to be a top 5 seed. But I thought against the Clippers, for me, that was most impressive is you play them 2 matches in a row. That's not easy to win. You've had some difficulty against the Clippers over the years. Not Luka Doncic, but the Lakers just in general. 2 starters are down. You lose Austin Reeves on Friday, only plays 9 minutes. Rui Hachimura doesn't play on Friday, doesn't play on Sunday either. You'll hold the team to 102 points in both matchups. Just the defense has been phenomenal. Great role players really understanding their role and how they contribute to the Lakers. Luka and LeBron handling business. I mean, you go up and down over the weekend. It wasn't perfect. There are some times where they commit too many turnovers. LeBron wasn't good yesterday. He finally had a game where he wasn't efficient. But overall, I think you watch the Lakers over the 2 games. Did they play winning style of basketball? Were there times they weren't even good, but good teams find ways to win? And I think when the dust settles, I got nothing negative to say about the Lakers. Absolutely nothing negative at all. And I think a lot of that has to do with there's been 0 excuses for this team. It doesn't matter who's in the lineup and who's not in the lineup. They just find a way to deliver. So I give the Lakers, obviously a ton of credit what they were able to accomplish over the weekend. But specifically what I'm talking about is when you look at this team and they're facing the same matchup 2 games in a row, a good head coach in Ty Lue. Kawhi Leonard had probably one of his best games he's had in a long time. He had it yesterday. You got somebody who's got the potential of James Harden. And I know there's some people out there say, well, Norman Powell didn't play. Lakers didn't have 2 starters. Isn't that a wash? Shouldn't Clippers then take one of those games? They weren't able to do so. Lakers made it happen. Take a quick listen here. By the way, as far as, obviously like a full breakdown of yesterday's game or something like that, it is, I did the post-game show, of course, yesterday. So you guys can listen there. It is there if you want the full breakdown. But there's a few different areas that I want to jump in today. Take a quick listen here. Here's Brian Windhorst talking about the Lakers specifically. I think him and Greeny are also kind of trying to figure out what the hell are this Lakers team? How good really are they? Take a quick listen here.
I mean, look, let me tell you how badly the Clippers wanted to win this game, Greeny. They played Kawhi Leonard almost 40 minutes in this one. He had a great game. He had 33 points. He hadn't played that many minutes since November of 23. The most points he scored in over a calendar year, and they still handle their business. They had got 9 straight wins over teams with winning records.
11
I am
now.
looking for a reason not to believe in this team, but they woke up today with the number 2 seed.
Let me stop real quick. So he said 9 games in a row against teams over 500. 11 now. You know, the games we weren't counting before, here's what happened. February 1st, Lakers played the Knicks before, and that's when a lot of people kind of started taking those records. They've won 11 games now against teams over 500. Before they beat the Knicks, they had beat Boston and somebody after Boston. I can't remember off the top of my head. So even that. I like what Windhorse is saying right here, too. I'm looking for a reason to say, no, this is not going to work. Guys, this is not supposed to work right now. Guys, they just traded for Luka. Obviously, this is going to take time. They weren't able to go get Mark Williams, a big kind of a rim protector, somebody, a lob threat that works really well with Luka. This year is supposed to be house money. They're not really supposed to accomplish something. And even Windhorse is having issues trying to figure out how they've been this successful. You can keep watching here.
They are really in a good place right now and winning in a way that I am beginning to believe is truly sustainable.
Okay, I'm going to forward it here just a second. This is more on why is this sustainable? Take a listen.
Well, they're defending. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, any discussion about the Lakers is can they defend? And you would think with their lack of size in the interior would hurt them. And on Friday, Ivica Zubac, who's one of the better centers they've played, hammered them. He had like 27 points and 16 rebounds, and they still won because they're doing a really good job of using their perimeter size to create mismatches. They're doubling the right players. They're staying off the right players. There's a little bit of a golden touch right now. I expect them to come back to earth a little bit. They've got a very challenging 4-game road trip that starts later this week. They've got to come play in Boston. They got to play in Denver on that road trip. So they're not going to win out the rest of the season, but they continue to demonstrate that this is a sustainable pathway because of that defense. I can't look at them and say that they've been the top defense in the league for 6 or 7 weeks now and say that that's just a fluke. They are just generally playing sound defense with a good structure under J.J. Redick, and it keeps resulting in victories.
All right, stop it right there. I'm about to rewind it just a second just so we can look at that schedule. So it's where the Lakers are sitting. Like Brian Windhorse, even in some of his, even the way Windhorse is kind of trying to explain everything, you could tell he's kind of like, are they really that good? Should they be winning this many games? Should they be clicking this fast? You can. I'm a big fan of Brian Windhorse, so anytime he talks, I do at least go out of my way to kind of, okay, what has he got to say? What is his angle? What's everything else that he's saying? Okay, with that in mind, okay, we'll sit here, and this is the schedule that the Lakers got coming up over the next 5 games. Pelicans tomorrow, Knicks, and then they go on this road trip. So road trips, you got some games here, but the Lakers are beating everyone anyway. So I don't, doesn't even really matter to me whether they're playing at the road, they're playing at home, whether they're playing teams above 500, whether they're not. 11 wins in a row against teams over 500. So I guess here's my question to Laker fans. Are they just the second best team in the West? Is it just as simple as that? I mean, a lot of times you don't need to look at the standings and say, well, because they're 6th, they must be the 6th best team in the West. I think we all understand there's circumstances, there's injuries, there's this, there's that, whatever the case is. But right now, if the Lakers were about to start a 7-game set against Houston, they're probably favored. Against Memphis, they're probably favored. Against the Clippers, they're definitely favored. Clippers, I got to be honest with you, I thought they were better than what I saw over the weekend. I got some notes here on the Clippers. They really were not that impressive at all. We'll spend a little time when Brad Turner comes on. We'll talk a little bit about them and kind of the direction that they're going. Are they just the second best team in the Western Conference? are the expectations, because I don't mind calling myself out at all. I know it was about a week ago, maybe a week and a half ago, that I was like, hey, they're kind of playing with house money. But I did say it also depends where they end up in the standings. If, you got Houston in the first round and it's a 4-5 matchup and the Lakers are at home, they're going to be expected to win that series. But after that, it's kind of like, all right, well, this isn't supposed to be the year that the Lakers are supposed to make noise. It's just not. How can it be this year? Are your expectations now starting to change? I mean, if the Lakers end up a number 2 seed in the Western Conference, does it become basically just a disappointment if you don't get to the Western Conference Finals and try to make some noise against the Oklahoma City Thunder? Look how fast this has changed. Look how fast we went from, no, this is not that big of a deal. It's going to take some time. Yes, there's excitement, but the roster is clearly flawed. I haven't seen JJ Redick or any of the players, whether role players or star players. Nobody has made an excuse about this roster. And because Memphis lost a couple of games, Houston lost a couple of games, I think when the Lakers actually made the trade for Luka Doncic, they were 7th in the Western Conference. Yes, there were a lot of teams that were tight and everything else. Here they now are sitting in the number 2 spot. Boston beat Denver yesterday at Boston, and now they're sitting at the number 2 spot. Are they just the second best team in the West? Is it just as simple as that? Do we take whatever our interpretation was of the Lakers in the past and we just completely wipe that away? It feels like it. It feels like that's kind of the situation and the predicament that the Lakers are in. And yeah, I mean, I had a kind of a difficult time, I guess, embracing that a week and a half ago. Well, how do you now not embrace that? They got 2 superstars. They play phenomenal defense. They got a coach that clearly knows what he's doing. And listen, we'll see if that changes. Come playoff time, it's going to be J.J. Redick's first playoff run as a coach. But anything you've thrown in front of J.J. Redick now, clearly he hasn't had an issue with. They got role players that understand their role. Just a trip that we're all sitting here, and this is how good and how successful the Lakers have been this quick. My guy Slee in the morning, thank you for tuning in, brother. They're the best team in the league, never mind the West. Well, people have been asking me, I have you guys know I like barometer games. And then a couple games ago, I think it was Friday night, somebody asked, hey, Slee, when's the next barometer game? And before I could even get my answer out, people are already putting Boston. They got, listen, this week too, you got Pelicans tomorrow. They got to handle business. Well, I don't know why the Pelicans game kind of worries me tomorrow. If this is one of those games where kind of just nobody's really paying attention to, because you got the Knicks coming up on Thursday. Then you got Boston coming up on Saturday night, a primetime game. So they still got some games before they get to Boston. But I do think if you want to know whether they're the best team in the league, there's some more matchups coming up here. Cleveland's been phenomenal. Boston, they're the defending champs. Give them a lot of credit, even though the Lakers already beat them. OKC number 1 right now. Denver and Lakers about the same, and then the rest. Who knows by the end of the season when Luka really gets going. I like this comment. I like that. Yeah, I think that's a good one. That's a good perspective right there, too. I still put Denver as a really tough out in the playoffs. Really, really tough out. And I know Lakers had their way with them a couple weeks ago, and I know that kind of maybe changed the way we look at the Lakers, but I agree with that one. I still think Denver's going to be a problem. A lot of these other teams got question marks, and we'll see obviously how things go from there. Okay. I want to talk Dalton Knecht here real quick. And then I got a clip I want to play. Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett doing a podcast together talking about the Lakers. Let's hit on Dalton Knecht here real quick. Man, I loved seeing Dalton Knecht have the amount of success that he did yesterday. I really did. I think there's, certain players right now where, you're rooting for. Listen, Dalton Knecht had a remarkable start to the season. A lot of people were talking about, hey, this guy's the steal of the draft. And then we really didn't hear about him for 2 months. He just struggled. Just wasn't hitting a shot. Struggled from the field. And last night, watching him play in a game where the Lakers desperately needed him. Here's what I'm talking about, desperately needed him. You don't have Austin Reeves scoring punch. Austin Reeves is basically 20 a night. And you didn't have Rui Hachimura. Is there somebody else that can step up and hit some buckets for you? Because they, like I said, they desperately needed it. If I'd have told you yesterday and I didn't put a name on it and I told you Austin Reeves was playing, I said somebody had 19 points. They were 7 of 10 from the field, 5 of 8 from the three-point line. Maybe that part doesn't jive with Austin Reeves. But somebody had 19 points, had 4 rebounds, couple of steals. You'd be like, oh, okay, that's probably Dalton, or that's probably Austin Reeves. It was Dalton Knecht. It's just great to see him have a performance last night. I'm sure that was good for him mentally. And I like some of the things JJ Redick said after the game. Here's what JJ said after the game. He said, I'm going to tell you guys something. I told Dalton before the game that he probably wasn't going to be in the rotation tonight, but to stay ready. That's a professional basketball player right there. That's big time. He's obviously complimenting Dalton Knecht. Last game for Knecht as well, I think he had 8 points, so he had some contributions for the Lakers as well. Let me see here. There was another quote that I saw. Let me see if I got it here. It's hard being a rookie, obviously, but I think he's a true professional. This is Luka talking about him. You know, I think one of the games he didn't play, and the next game he showed up. That's being a professional, especially being a rookie in LA. It's not easy, and he's been doing this since I've been here, so I'm glad we have him on our team. Listen, is the world going to end that Dalton Knecht had 19 yesterday? Probably not. But do I feel like Knecht needed a game like that? Lakers needed a game with Dalton Knecht like that? Yes, I do feel like those two things were critical, were very important. And it was great for him to, obviously to have that type of a game and let this guy get more and more comfortable. And who knows, the looks that he's going to get with LeBron. And I know when that trade didn't go down, people thought, all right, well, this guy's probably going to get some great looks having Luka and LeBron set him up all the attention. Well, that part's true. Now we'll see if he can find a way to contribute for the Lakers the rest of the way. Okay, I got another clip I want to play for you guys. So I played the clip a little bit earlier with Brian Windhorst and Greeny. This clip is going to be more on how dangerous potentially the Lakers can be and why they would be dangerous. And I like it specifically because it's two guys that have a ton of experience in the NBA. They're both champions. They're players that it's easy to listen to their opinion. And for me, it's like, okay, tell me more. It's Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce. So KG Certified is the podcast that he does. Take a listen here. Listen to these two guys talk about the Lakers and talk specifically why they would be very, very dangerous in a 7-game set. Let me get it to the point that I wanted at. Okay, take a listen.
Money on Lakers versus OKC. If I got to put money on Lakers versus OKC or Lakers versus Memphis or Lakers versus Houston, I mean, I got to roll with the OGs on that one because they done been in deep waters of the playoffs, and those bright lights ain't going to get to them. So the only threat I think is Denver, who I'll be like a little bit like, all right, Denver got experience, and I know, but then y'all just made Denver look like nothing.
Smoked them. Bron looked like he was in Cleveland again.
Yeah, so
motherfucker had like 7 dunks.
I mean, the Lakers are looking scary.
Okay, I'm gonna forward it here real quick. By the way, I see some of the comments. People are, well, I still hate Paul Pierce. All right, well, go ahead and listen to him. All right, he's talking about the Lakers, and he's talking positively about the Lakers. Take a listen.
They're looking like a real threat in the West because I don't see the teams in front of them with the experience outside of Denver because they got the best player in the league. They're gonna be a threat, and then but see, Luka can cancel him out all across the board.
Then you got Bron.
And then
Listen to them talk about Bron, and it shows you the respect that these two have for LeBron James. It's actually kind of funny listening to. Take a listen.
You got Bron.
Bron's second. It's going to be hard to match a guy up with your second against that.
If Bron is the second best player, damn. Damn. If Bron is your second best player on the championship team, dog, the West is in trouble, dog. Because I'm looking at everybody else second best player. So when I look at OKC, who they second best player?
Dub.
J-Dub or Chet. I'm taking Bron. So now you look at who else? Memphis. Who they second best player?
J-Jack.
Yeah. I mean, in the gap between everybody else's second best player, the gap between Bron and them is way up here. That's gonna be crazy. And Lakers' third best player, Reeves, he's averaging a dub.
He activated.
He activated.
He think he him, bro.
Yeah.
He out here like, all right, I got the ISO, y'all ain't helping? Y'all staying home?
He's just as good as all the top team's second best player.
I'm saying, bro. Austin Reeves.
All right, I'll stop it right there. Listen, this isn't two random guys that have no NBA experience or, these are champions. These are dudes that played in the league for obviously a number of years, have won championships. I don't know what it was about that clip, about them saying LeBron as the second best player, and they both look at each other and they just start laughing. Like, these guys 100%, and they're going to be honest. They're going to say it how it is. Obviously, they won a championship with the Boston Celtics. They beat the Lakers in the NBA Finals. They're going to say it how it is. I just thought it kind of gave you some perspective of them comprehending, what do you mean LeBron's not the best player on that team? What do you mean Luka's the best player on that team? And that makes LeBron the second best player on that squad. I watched it a couple different times yesterday. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was really, really funny that that's how it was set up. But both of those guys obviously are talking about from experience. They're looking at some of the other players that are on the they're looking at some of the other teams out there and saying, okay, but what about the inexperience that some of those guys have? Isn't a guy like Luka, who was just in the NBA Finals, and a guy like LeBron James, aren't they going to be able to just kind of slice and dice whatever other teams throw at them or throw their way or whatever the case is? So I thought that clip was just freaking hilarious to me. And it also gives you some insight of how other NBA players are looking at the Lakers right now. And it looks the way other NBA players look at him, the amount of respect that they have for this Lakers roster right now. All right, let's look at a couple comments here. Luka is the second best player. I don't think so. I think he has to be the best player. He has to. I think he has to be the best player if they're going to make a real run. Let's put it this way. Let's say LeBron was the best player and Luka was the second best player. I think they're going to have issues. So I think they need him to be the best player. Paul Pierce, damn straight. Okay. All right, I got a couple other comments here I'll get into in just a second. Okay. And then we have a lot of Paul Pierce hate. Hey, you could hate. That's okay. But if I got a good comment, it's part of good content, then I got to roll with the punches here. So obviously I had to do that. All right, got to give a quick shout out here. Brad Wallace and the Wallace firm. Thank you for the partnership here on YouTube. If you or someone you know has been seriously injured or is dealing with the loss of a loved one, you should find out what legal options you have. Of course, you deserve the absolute best in the business, the right legal team backing you, and that's Brad Wallace and the Wallace firms. When it comes to holding insurance companies accountable and maximizing case results, you got to go to my guy, Brad Wallace, and his legal team at the Wallace firm. They're the real deal. Listen, this is the reason why I love this partnership so much is because this is somebody that I personally know that used to be with me when I was at 710 ESPN, has followed me here to YouTube, wants to support the channel, wants to support the show, is a big Laker fan. His office is out there in Encino, and he can represent anybody in the state of California. I hope you never need him, but things happen in life. And if you do need him, I can make a personal introduction, or you can get a free consultation and go to the URL here, wallacewins.com/Sliwa. wallacewins.com/Sliwa. You can get a free consultation. Like I said, if you're in a situation, this is just part of life. And, unfortunately, not everything is just roses and blue skies. If you're in a predicament or a situation, Brad Wallace of the Wallace firm, I'd be happy to make an introduction as well. All right. Shout out to Brad for coming on here and being a part of the show here. Okay, let me go back to the banners here, and I want to start looking at some of your guys' comments again as we continue to go through the show. Anthony here. Anthony, thank you for the super, brother. I appreciate it. By the way, over 200 members now. If you guys want to be a member and want to support the channel, would really, really appreciate that. $3 a month, just a heads up on that. I'm going to put it in the comments here, and we'll see if we can get some new members before the end of the show. But I appreciate everybody that's become a member. I appreciate everybody that's gifted members. So thank you very much for doing that. Anthony says, is NBA media commentary overall any more negative than other sports, or is it that just the current perception? Well, I think this. I think if you had load management really, really hurt, I think the NBA, right? Load management, stars that aren't playing, that perception probably gave off a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. If you had, I'm just going to, name off some players. If you had Patrick Mahomes, or think of some players in the NFL, something like that, just taking time off, then that probably obviously wouldn't jive very well. So, Anthony, I appreciate it. Maybe the perception, it's easy to just have a different perception, or things just start going towards a negative direction. So maybe that has something to do with it. Appreciate the super, Anthony. Okay. As promised, I want to welcome in a good buddy of mine that has been a part of the show for a long time. BT, Brad Turner of the LA Times. BT, what's going on, brother?
And how you doing, man?
I'm good, man.
Man, it's good to see you.
It's been a second. BT, it's been a second.
It has, but here we are.
Here we are. Yeah, I appreciate you taking the time and coming on. Yeah, BT was, a lot of people know Brad Turner, not just because him and I have done work on the channel before, but obviously when I was on radio at 710, BT was, I'd basically just hand you the headset when it was me, you, and Michael for the pregame show, and I just got out of the way.
Look, those were good times, because Michael Thompson never knew what he was talking about, of course, especially when it came to wine and to his son, Klay Thompson. Klay was a far better basketball player, a far better person. And we all know Klay Thompson got his good looks and his talent from his mom.
That's right. That's right.
We all
all
know
right.
that, yes.
I don't think Michael would argue that one. I think Michael is going to agree with you on that one. BT, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you for coming on. All right, let's start off with this. Lakers second in the Western Conference. Want to help me? Kind of help me understand that one.
Man, trying to unpack that is pretty amazing. Who would have thunk it a month ago? But they really started playing good basketball before the trade of Luka Doncic. And then they get him, and he becomes this unreal force for them. He seemed to unlock their true potential. And then, of course, LeBron James is playing like a man possessed, as he seems to always do. And, of course, you have Rui Hachimura, who's played well. He's injured now. You have Austin Reeves playing well. Gabe Vincent has stepped up.
Yep.
I mean, and let's not forget, the one thing I don't want to overlook is JJ Redick has done a great job as a rookie head coach.
Can I, BT, let me stay on JJ here for a quick second. When Lakers hired him in the offseason, what was your perception? What was your I know there's a lot of players, coaches. You've got a unique relationship with a lot of these guys just over the years you develop with them. What did you make of JJ when he was hired, and just did you think there was a world that exists where he was going to have this much success as a rookie head coach?
The first thing I thought was, why does JJ want to coach? I had covered him when he played for the Clippers. Never got an inkling at that point that he was interested in coaching. So that was my first thought. And my second thought was, why are the Lakers interested in hiring someone who has never coached beyond his kids' teams? And why they're trying to hire a rookie coach to take this job to coach LeBron James and Anthony Davis and this franchise? I didn't quite understand why they went that direction,
Hmm.
what they were looking for, why he was the guy they really wanted. It turns out Rob Pelinka, the Lakers GM, Jeannie Buss, the owner of the team, they made a great decision, and it's working out for them to a high degree.
What makes him? Because I think, to me, I'll tell you a couple things that stood out for me so far just watching JJ Redick, and I think it feels like a lot more people, when you talk about the Lakers right now, there's a lot more praise going towards JJ, and
Mm,
as it should be. Some of the things that have stood out to me, I don't feel like it's a funny way to put this, but sometimes you could see a lot of coaches in the NBA where they get super stubborn. It's like, nope, this is my starting lineup, I'm not changing it. Or nope, that guy's going to play X amount of minutes. I think that's a great trait of his, where I don't think he's married to anything. He's open to trying different things. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, he's ready to move on from it. I think he has a lot of the post-game show interviews that I listen to, he has something that he always says. It's like, it's more about effort than the actual play. If you just give
mm,
me solid effort, I'll live with what those results are. And I think every night, and use these last two games as an example against the Clippers, I think he's got these guys believing in whatever he's selling. Are there one or two things that have stood out to you of just
mm.
stylistically what he does?
Believing in the 3-point shot with a team that I don't think they're a great 3-point shooting team, but he believes in it. And because he believes in it, his players believe in it.
Hmm.
I mean, just take, for example, last night against the Clippers, there were threes the Clippers were willing to give up. That Clippers coach was fine with Gabe Vincent taking those threes. Well, Gabe Vincent knocked down those threes. There were players like, you have Jared Vanderbilt, who is not a very good shooter, but he feels confident enough to shoot those threes, knowing that if he misses them, he
Mm.
may chase down that rebound and give you that extra effort. I just really believe that it's JJ's dedication to the sport, his energy, his moxie. I mean, all those things that I saw as a player, I'm now starting to see. I mean, his intensity is amazing to watch. Man, there were a few games I watched earlier in the season. I kept thinking to myself, JJ is going to be out there, and he's gonna pass out. But that's his passion for the game. I mean, everyone does it differently. Obviously, everyone. A lot of people know that I've known Ty Lue since he's a rookie in the NBA, playing for the Lakers, and I still think Ty Lue is one of the best coaches around. But he doesn't rant and rave, should I say, like JJ does. JJ is into the games,
Yep.
which is something that I love and respect. Again, I had the pleasure of following Phil Jackson when he coached the Lakers. Phil was too cool for that. JJ, the complete opposite. He is
Mm.
into the game, and he is always prepared for the moment.
Yeah, I like what you said about the 3-point shooting too. It's like, okay, if Vando takes a three in the corner and he
Hmm.
misses, Vando knows he's not getting pulled out of the game. If Gabe Vincent takes what is considered a good shot just based on the flow of the offense, or maybe there's too much attention on Luka and the ball swings to Gabe, he doesn't have to worry about getting pulled because he took a
Right.
shot or whatever the case is. And last night, Dalton Knecht, really both of the games, Dalton Knecht as well. That's a good example of a guy. And I know he's more of a sharp shooter, but it's not like he's been, going off in every game or something along those lines. But that's a good observation there. BT, okay, I'm curious because I think I'm going to kind of work my way back to. I'm going to start with Luka, and then I want to kind of work my way back a little bit because you got a chance to have a conversation with Anthony Davis, and that was part of that Lakers Mavs game from last week. Luka's been a Laker now X amount of games. He certainly looks a lot different today than he looked like when he first got here.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like he's as surprised or shocked anymore. It's settled in. You've watched Luka Doncic throughout his career. You watch him a lot against the Clippers. What have you made so far of where he is today? Just his progress. I know where he started and kind of working his way to the Lakers. As we sit here today, what do you make of what Luka's been able to do over this, call it, month stretch that he's officially been a Laker?
I'm going to use the word, he's a killer.
Mm.
And I don't say that lightly because I covered Kobe Bryant, who was a stone cold killer. I covered Shaquille O'Neal, who was a dominant monster killing dude. I had a chance to, early in my career, cover Magic Johnson and Kareem, James Worthy. Luka is in that boat with all of them.
Mm.
I mean, to watch him scream and yell at, I guess, the Clipper bench. I don't know what he's saying. I don't know if he's speaking his native tongue, if he's speaking English, but the dude loves this game.
Yeah.
He is passionate about the game, but Luka is someone that strikes fear in everyone that's trying to defend him. I mean, the Clippers were trying all they could, double teams when he had the ball, before he had the ball. I mean, being in his face, or as Ty Lue calls it, blitzing him. But Luka always found a way to either get up his own shot or to pass ball to a teammate for the hockey assist. I mean, he is so into this game. And I think he's starting to get his legs underneath him.
Sure.
So once your body catches up to the rest of your game, now you're confident in what you can do. And he has been fun to watch play, man. I don't think right now he's still in tip-top NBA shape, which is scary to say because he's still dominating.
Yeah, I think what you said about, getting his legs back, you're right, because he was relying so much on the three-point shot, early
Mhm.
on. And I think part of that was just he doesn't have his legs under him, so he's going to struggle with his jumper. And then he's also going to struggle trying to get to the basket. But that's, obviously just going to come in time. He's going to get a little bit more of that. I'm going to stick on Luka here for a quick second because I think a lot of people are sitting here today and they're saying, okay, well, how the Lakers, they're second place in the Western Conference right now. Obviously, a lot of that just have to do with Luka, with LeBron, some of these guys. What are your expectations now? Are you now? I felt like when the Lakers traded for Luka, I thought this year they're kind of playing with some house money. What really can you expect from the Lakers this season? The roster is not perfect. It's going to take time to gel. They're going to need an offseason to really try to put together a team that can make a run. Are they? Is that notion kind of going out the door? They've their last 11 games against teams over 500. They've won all 11 of them. They've beat Boston. They went on the road. They beat Denver. And I'm not telling you they should be the favorites to go win a championship, but has your perception as we sit here today, are the expectations higher than they were a week ago, 2 weeks ago, of what you think the Lakers can accomplish?
Watching the Lakers play the last couple weeks, last few games, I think they have enough talent and coaching to at least get to the Western Conference Finals because there's no clear-cut team other than OKC. I mean, obviously, they're the best team in the West, one of the top three best teams in the NBA. The game at Denver that the Lakers won in the fashion that they won it in, that told me a different story about the Lakers.
Hmm.
My friends that love the Lakers all tell me the Lakers need a big man, a backup big man. To which I always say, name me the top five best big men in the NBA. And once they stop at the Joker and they mention the injured Joel Embiid, you don't have the Shaqs and Kareems anymore. So the Lakers have discovered there are ways that you can win games
Hmm.
playing small. a la the Golden State Warriors won 4 championships essentially without having a dominant center. So based on
Hmm.
that game, it made me think that the Lakers can go very far in the West because they beat the bully for them. They beat him bad, and they showed it with confidence. So I think that the bar is high for them now on what they can do because the Lakers have two of the best players in the league in Luka and LeBron James. And if you have two of the best players in the league, you always have a chance to win.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people's expectations are changing as well. If you thought, let's just say, 2 through 5 is so close. Let's just say 4-5. Lakers ended up 4th, and they got Houston in the first round, and they got home court advantage. Yeah, you can't lose that first round matchup anymore.
Right.
If you're a 2 seed and you get Memphis in the second round, you can't really lose that Memphis game anymore. And that's without us knowing. It's not like I think some of the things that happens in the NBA is you get a chance to see the same team over and over again. Well, this is going to be the first playoff run Lakers have, obviously, with this iteration, but it's excited to watch. Okay, you got let me actually do this here real quick. We also, as watching the Lakers over the weekend, they play the Clippers. Both of those games, Lakers end up winning 3 games in a row against the Clippers. They take the season series 3 out of 4. I was not impressed with the Clippers at all over the weekend. And I understand that Norman Powell is out. I understand that, they're trying to get him back and healthy. And I know how good of a player he is for the Clippers. What are the Clippers? Are they, is this a team that can make any noise this year? I just want your thoughts real quick on the Clippers, and then I want to move on to some AD stuff.
In my view, the Clippers actually have overachieved. When the season started, we all thought the Phoenix Suns would be a great team. The New Orleans Pelicans would be a good team.
Sure.
But
San Antonio.
San Antonio, those are 2 disappointing teams. And the Clippers today sit here 6th in the West. Now, I don't know if they're going to hold on to that 6th spot. Kawhi has played, I don't know, 15 games or so. He was at his best last night. James Harden is starting to show fatigue for trying to carry the team throughout the season. So, in my view, they have actually overachieved at this point because I wasn't sure. I didn't have them being top 6 in the West. I thought they would fight for a play-in spot, which is where I think they may eventually end up. So, I'm not disappointed in what I've seen out of them because I think the league has finally maybe worn them down a little bit, trying to play at such a high level. But the one thing they will do, 2 things they will do. They will play defense and they will compete.
Yeah, they are, like you just mentioned, they're in this chunk in the Western Conference. Basically, you got 2 through 5 that are all separated by game and a half. You got 6 through 10 that's all separated by half a game. So that wherever the Clippers are sitting, you got the Warriors, Minnesota, Sacramento, and Dallas all obviously fighting for some positioning there. So you're right. There's probably a good chance they don't stay at that number 6 spot. They probably end up in the play-in tournament. The good news for the Clippers is Phoenix is 4 games back from a play-in spot. That's unbelievable that they're as bad as they are. BT, you got a chance. All this had gone down with Luka Doncic and Anthony Davis, and all the attention went to Luka. All the attention went to, how did the Dallas Mavericks trade Luka Doncic, and, what were they doing, this, that. Not a lot, I think, came from the perspective of Anthony Davis, and I don't think people were trying to be disrespectful to AD. I just think Luka Doncic is Luka Doncic, and the shock value of a 25-year-old who has not entered his prime getting traded and who just got to the NBA Finals 7-8 months ago, I think that was where more the attention was. You got a chance to talk to Anthony Davis when they were in town taking on the Lakers and the Mavs. Just kind of curious. How was that interaction? How is AD's spirit? How does AD feel? We spent so much time talking about Luka and his shock and everything else. I'm pretty sure Anthony Davis was pretty blindsided by the trade as well. What just some of your interaction with him?
But I guess it all began when I went down to Dallas for AD's first game. It was I think it was against Charlotte. So I get there and I see people that work with him, and he's walking out to do his pregame shooting drill. So I just wanted to watch and see what he would do and see how many fans would interact with him. And he kept walking. He walked by me, and I responded. He goes, "You're not going to speak?" And he goes, "Oh, what's up, BT?" But he had this serious look on his face.
Mm,
He went out, did his shooting drills with Jared Dudley, the former Laker he was a teammate with.
sure.
Fans were watching him, and they were kind of gauging what he was doing. But during the layup line, before they went out for the layups, everyone ran out to the court except for Kyrie, Irving, and AD. And they showed AD and Kyrie in the back. And when KD came out, the entire arena stood up and gave him an ovation.
Mm,
So I thought that's pretty cool because they were protesting about Luka being traded. They were not happy about it, but it showed me they were not upset at Anthony Davis.
sure.
They were just upset with Nico Harrison, the GM of the Mavericks. The game starts. AD is phenomenal, and as you and I know, AD is not a very emotional person. He made some plays. He scored a basket. They called the timeout, and he turned to the crowd and he says, "I'm here,"
Mm,
which I thought was, wow, that's something new.
mm,
We don't see that very often. So now we fast forward to when they were out here playing the Lakers, and I kept texting, say, "Hey man, we need to talk." And we talked in the hallway, the same hallway that he was walking down all those years where he won championship at
sure.
the Lakers. Helped put a banner up there. And yes, he was blindsided by this.
Mm,
He was surprised by it. He just kept saying, "You can't tell me that nobody knew nothing about this. I
mm,
don't believe that." And he used some words that you might want to be careful using, but I understood. But there was some pain there, not that he got traded for Luca, but that he just didn't know, didn't understand why they would do it. And so his plan now was, as he kept saying, was, "I'm over this. I'm by it. I now want to play for the team that wants me,
mm.
and this is where I want to win the NBA championship." But there was some pain there. There was some hurt there. But as I always say, the contracts follow you. The money he's making, it goes for Dallas too, and there are no state taxes down there. So
Well,
he'll be fine.
it's and the reason why I think we've got so many mics that were in front of Luka when the trade went down, right?
Yes.
How do you feel? How long is it going to take for you to, get back to this and that and everything else? I think for AD, the unfortunate part is, there weren't, listen, he got his interviews and all that stuff. I'm not saying that didn't happen in Dallas, but how much of it was just, I just have to say what I need to say. I know in him having a conversation with you, he's going to be more honest. You have a relationship with him. But his biggest issue was he played basically maybe a little bit more than a half, then got injured and
Yes.
is not able to come out and be the type of player or have the Mavs kind of surging and saying like, yes, they lost Luka, but I'm Anthony Davis and this is what I can do. Is it, and I don't know if you know this, and if you don't, it's okay. Is he expected? Is it any idea of when he's expected to? He'll be back before the season ends, correct? Like he'll get an opportunity to be with the Mavs for some kind of a run.
No, he will. I mean, when he was injured, 2 weeks ago, they thought it would be 3 to 4 weeks and he'd be back. So I think they expect AD back in another week or two, and then they want to get him ramped up. So he'll be back before the season is over. The other guy they need to get back in Dallas is Derek Lively. If they get him back and they get Gafford back, they really could be a scary team.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. I think every time, obviously, big picture for the Mavs, it was tough to make that trade make sense. Short term, over this next, 2-year period or so, and especially this year, because that window will just close and close every year that goes by. I do agree. I think they could be a very, very dangerous team. BT, what's the rest of Brad Turner's Monday look like? I mean, that's it. I mean, I feel like you just
No,
you
I'm
relax.
I'm going to write a feature story on
Okay.
Derrick Jones Jr. with the Clippers, who was a teammate of Luka. And every time we talk about Luka the last couple of days, man, Derrick Jones Jr., he just kept saying, BT, that's a bad mofo, man.
Mm,
He's a bad dude. So to hear him express it in that way about Derrick Jones Jr., and Derrick Jones has found his way into the league. He's worked hard. He's found himself a home with the Clippers. Very nice young man. I mean, Junior one, nice young man. She's going to get a bobblehead by the Clippers
mm.
presented to him on Wednesday night. He's excited about it. So when someone's that excited, then it excites me to write my best story that I can. So
There you
that's what I
go.
got going on. And I'm going to Spectrum tonight to do a little Laker TV talk. And I'm going to tell Rob Bowie to leave me alone because he's bothering me right now when I'm talking to you. He's getting like Michael Thompson, becoming a pain in the butt around here. Alan, come on, man.
Oh, that's phenomenal. You got a busy day, and I appreciate
I
your time.
do.
BT, thank you for taking the time, brother. We'll see you at a game soon, and thank you for all the insight. All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right, that is BT, Brad Turner of the LA Times, right there. Good dude, right there. BT, good man, right there. Nice enough to take the time, and I was chatting with him last week. I knew obviously Lakers are going to play the Clippers, and he's had a lot of could be a Laker game, could be a Clipper game. Okay, that's perfect. Let's get BT on. But that story that had come out, finally we get a chance to hear from Anthony Davis. And a lot of those quotes were directly coming from Brad Turner and his conversation with him. So that just kind of shows you the relationship that BT has with some of these players. All right, let's look at a couple of the comments here. Love the BT Express. He's a good man. He's a good dude. Known the guy for a while now. AD is who he is. A great number 2 option, but will never lead a team to a chip. Well, he helped lead a team to a chip, but I'm with you. I think that, I remember saying, what's the type of player that Anthony Davis needs in order to go win a championship? Probably a player like Luka. Probably a player like Shea. Probably one of these, top elite guards that are kind of within his window, I guess you can call it. So, and it doesn't take anything away from Anthony Davis. I think anybody that was negative about it, here's a funny thing. I don't think anybody was negative about AD. I think it was the shock factor of Luka. So it's a shock factor of Luka. Okay, let's keep things moving here. If you guys got anything you guys want to throw in here, feel free to do it. But I'm gonna kind of keep things moving here. All right, so hit that. All right, let's do this story here real quick. I thought was interesting. Then we'll get into our weekend recap, and we'll call it a morning here. Do you guys see the story about Kevin Durant? What's going on with KD? There's a report out here. Kevin Durant, Suns could work together on a trade to contender in the offseason. I think I mentioned this last week. Kevin Durant was on with Draymond Green and Baron Davis on Draymond Green's podcast. And basically they were talking about, I didn't want to get traded during the season. I think he talked about some contract things, but hey, in the summer, let's talk. Do you know the Phoenix Suns are 4 games behind the number 10 seed? They're 4 games behind for a play-in tournament spot. So I think everybody obviously knows, they're going to have to do something different in the offseason. There was a quote here, and I know this was coming. They're 28-33, by the way. Shams had said this on ESPN. Durant was blindsided when he was involved in a trade conversation, but this offseason, from my understanding, what it would look like is Durant and the Suns would work together on any potential trade to a contender in a trade scenario. I would expect 4 to 6 contending teams to have some serious involvement with Kevin Durant. All right, so that's obviously that's the conversation right there. Well, what the hell does that do in the summer? What the hell does that do in the summer? I did this yesterday just to kind of do it because why not? How can the Lakers get Kevin Durant? Let me show you what it would take to get Kevin Durant. Okay, let me just show everybody here real quick. All right, let's put the Lakers in here. Let's put the Phoenix Suns in here. What do you think, Laker fans? Should I go make a run at KD? All right, Kevin Durant. How do you match 51 mil? By the way, this is probably not completely on, but how do you match 51 mil? Okay. Rui, Reeves, Vando, and Gabe. There's your 51. You want to give up Rui, Reeves, Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt for KD, and then the first rounder that you have. Let me tell you why this is not going to happen. It's not going to happen because I'm sure Phoenix is going to want to start rebuild. I don't know what their rebuilding process is going to look like, but basically you're going to give up any depth, any defense, obviously to go all in for Kevin Durant. That's what teams are going to have to do if they want to get in the business of KD. See what people think. KD going back to OKC. Oh, I could see that. I could see that. That'd be very interesting, by the way. Pass on KD. Hell no. Would kill our depth. Hell no. Also make Braun the third best player on your team. KD to OKC. I think Phoenix is going to want to kind of start that rebuilding process and everything else. See if anybody says yes. Absolutely no. No KD. Kyrie's on his way. Doesn't want to play for. All right. Keep that going there. KD is moody. Yeah, this is a good question here, too. What would matching salaries look like for OKC? Yeah, it's not easy to match $51 million. So that's why you got to get super creative. KD to the Knicks. I think it's going to be more of these KD to Denver. Interesting. Yeah, listen. Do I think it's going to happen? Do I think the Lakers are going to go all in for KD? No, I don't. But if you had a squad of KD, LeBron, and Luka, pretty interesting team. Problem is you don't have anything after that. Slee, would you have traded AD for KD? So KD and LeBron. I still don't think you'd be making crazy noise. So I think the way even the Lakers with Anthony Davis, I think everything had to work perfectly. Everyone had to play perfectly. I don't think they were going to make crazy noise. I don't think that's that different of a situation as well. All right, I'm going to get back to some of your comments here in just a second. We'll look at some of the comments here before we get out of here. Quick little weekend recap. Let's go back and take a look at the weekend. A couple different storylines that came out from the weekend. You guys saw yesterday, Nuggets lose to the Boston Celtics, 110-103. So that obviously helped the Lakers. Kind of an interesting game. Celtics were up the entire time. Jamal Murray kind of starts going off in the second half. They made it a game. Porzingis didn't play on one side. Drew Holiday didn't play on the other side. Aaron Gordon didn't play. So you didn't have the best of both squads. But nonetheless, a very entertaining game. I thought the real game Friday night was awesome. Friday night, you had the Cavs and the Celtics. And you had Cavs go on this just crazy run in the second half, and they end up beating Boston 123-116. It's just kind of fun to see those top two teams play. Knicks beat the Grizzlies by 1. That was helpful to the Lakers, so I know a lot of Laker fans were excited about that. Just a heads up for tonight, as, you kind of start looking at the standings here. Rockets, Thunder. So you should be cheering for the Thunder there. Hawks, Grizzlies. Lakers will need some help there. So those are really just kind of the two games that have any type of effect on the Lakers. I'm going to get off the NBA here for a quick second. I'm going to just jump into the NFL real quick. We talked about it a little bit last week. I don't think anybody really thought Matthew Stafford was going to go anywhere else, but he agreed to a restructured contract with the Rams. It didn't say the details of what it looks like, but he's coming back. I don't think it's a surprise. This was on Friday. It's the best for both worlds. The Rams don't have a squad without Matthew Stafford, and Matthew Stafford, kind of in a really good situation with the Rams. Every year that he's played for the Rams, he's been competing. He's won a Super Bowl. They were the team that gave in the NFC divisional round. They're the team that gave the biggest headache to the Philadelphia Eagles, who eventually won a Super Bowl. So I think it's smart for both of those sides to obviously agree and to stay playing together. The last NFL story that I want to mention here real quick: 49ers deal Deebo Samuel to the Washington Commanders. So Deebo leaving the NFC West, and he is going to the Washington Commanders. Kind of an interesting move there. The Washington Commanders had a tremendous amount of success this year. Their rookie quarterback, Jaden Daniels, and now they get to put, an all-pro wide receiver, at least a former all-pro wide receiver. They're going to link him up together. So those are a couple things that went down over the weekend, so I wanted to make sure I threw out that weekend recap. Of course, weekend recap is presented by the Wallace Firm. Need legal help for a serious injury? The Wallace Firm are proven trial lawyers. Go to wallacewins.com/Sliwa, wallacewins.com/Sliwa to learn more, and happy to get Brad Wallace to help you if you're in a situation where, obviously you're going to need his services. All right, let's read a last few of these comments, and then we're going to call it a day here and keep things rolling. Sammy should have a preview video for tomorrow, Lakers and the Pelicans, so keep an eye out for that. Let's see what else we got here. Deebo is done. Deebo is washed. Who knows? Sometimes, a new environment, a new place could certainly kind of change the mood of things. All right, let's see what else we got here. Nuggets front office is a joke. KD would fit well with the Mavs. I saw that. I've seen Houston. I've seen Memphis. I've seen a few teams that he's potentially tied into. So we'll see what happens in regards to that. Slee, you going caffeine free too, or just coffee? Just coffee. Yeah, I got to have some kind of caffeine. I got to, I got to keep myself up. I got to be honest. My first show without coffee, I think I did pretty good. Now I just got to find a replacement. All right, I think we good. I think we're done today. I think we're done. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of the show. Solid show. Went by pretty fast. Just a quick reminder. Tomorrow we'll do a post-game show after the Pelicans game. I will be back on tomorrow at 8 a.m. Sammy will get a preview video going for tomorrow's matchup against New Orleans. Probably post that a little bit later tonight. And we'll keep things, keep everybody, anything that's going on Laker wise or anything that's going on that we think you guys will be interested in, we'll keep putting it on the channel. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel. If you guys have yet to subscribe, would greatly appreciate that. Hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday, and we will get back with you guys tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your day. Shout out to Brad Turner for joining.